What's up, guys? So, Amazing Spider-Man #1 comes out on Wednesday, April 9th. I got a chance to read this over the weekend and just wanted to tell you a little bit about it. This is written by Joe Kelly and the art is by Pepe Larraz and John Romita Jr. The first couple of pages of this book show Peter interviewing for a job at different companies, but in between those panels are smaller panels of Spider-Man fighting a bad guy, which help illustrate how being Spider-Man greatly interferes with Peter's personal life. I will go ahead and tell you that Peter does eventually land a job somewhere, and it's here that we meet a character named Brian Naring, who we've never seen or heard of before, but is apparently an old friend of Peter's from when he was little. We know from the solicitation for issue #2 that this new old friend will play some kind of role in this story. Not long after this is where we get the big action scene between Spider-Man and Rhino that was previewed online. It is a gorgeous big action scene where Spider-Man notices that something is a bit off about the Rhino, that he's a bit stronger and a bit more brutal. Spider-Man later hears reports of people from East Harlem not quite acting like themselves, and since Rhino lives in East Harlem, he thinks that something may be going on there, so he breaks into Rhino's apartment to investigate, and I will leave it at that. There's also a backup story by Joe Kelly and John Romita Jr. that is all about Norman Osborn planning to try as hard as he can to make amends for all the bad things that he did as the Green Goblin. There's also a few pages at the very end of the book, like after the letters page, that give us our first look at a new villain, but I'll let you read that for yourselves. I know this book had a big question mark over it given how lackluster the previous run was, but I'll be honest and say I really enjoyed this. Granted, Amazing Spider-Man had nowhere to go but up, but I had a really good time reading this and I'm very much looking forward to reading the second issue. I think this mystery of what is making people more aggressive is very interesting, especially considering the other bits of the story that I didn't tell you about. In terms of the art, this book is gorgeous. The art, the colors, the one action scene we got, it's all very beautiful, and aside from the issues of Amazing Spider-Man that Ed McGuinness drew in the previous run, this is the best that Amazing Spider-Man has looked in years. Really, my only criticism is that I would have liked a little bit more action and that the first few pages really beat us over the head with the old Parker look. Don't get me wrong, the sequence of him looking for a job was really fun, but we get it, Marvel. Peter's duties as Spider-Man keep getting in the way of his personal life. You don't need to keep reminding us. Time will tell how good this story arc and this series ends up being, but for now, I think they're off to a really good start, and I am genuinely looking forward to reading more. So again, this comes out on Wednesday, April 9th. Let me know if you pick it up, and if you do, let me know what you think about it.